That's what's happening within the church. I'm not going down that road, but what I really want to say is this, Adrian. The time actually came where you, as a black person, could talk to somebody who didn't look like you, and they would actually respond to you. People are out there at the present moment, all around the world. People are saying the mark of the beast is coming. There's people asking different things about the second coming of Jesus. The time is right. But the time is right now. The guys who are on the front line, who are running the show, when COVID hit, what they do? They went on furlough. The very time, this is what I'm going to come to, the very time, right, where we're coming to a time where everything's being built about the second coming of Christ. We've seen the plain of Jura. Jura is being repeated now, where we're seeing the image being built step by step, little by little, little by. It didn't happen overnight. Jura didn't happen overnight. Neither did the furnace just get there and it was hot 7 times hotter. We're coming to the place where the furnace again is the 7 last plagues. We're coming to the point where the second coming of Christ is coming, and we're seeing the 7 last plagues are going to fall. And I'm saying to you, everything is well planned out and orchestrated, but a lot of people in the church don't realise that it's being planned. They say, oh, it's the devil. It's just the devil. But there's key men who are planning out things within Adventism, but Adventism doesn't seem to understand that the black and white issue, it was in the time of when Moses was there. What happened with Miriam?
But all of them were black.
Yeah. But what I'm just saying, what I'm saying.
It's more, I would say it's more like nationalism or tribalism.
Nationalism, but obviously, right, these things were going on. And these were just when they were going to go over into Canaan. We're going over to the heavenly Canaan, and these things are happening again. But no one's seeing that these wheels of time, or Ezekiel said, are turning yet again. They're turning, and it's the same wheel within a wheel within a wheel, and God's hand's guiding them. And it's for us to see what's happened on the first and second angel's message. And I'm not talking to really somebody outside who's not an Adventist. I'm talking to Adventist people. Me personally, I'm talking to Adventist people, and I'll tell you why. Hezekiah, when he knew that the king of the north was coming, what did he do? He fortified the city. He built the fence.
That's a fact.
And then if you're not building the fence within Adventism now, and you're just saying, oh, I'm going to go win some souls, like they tell you, just win souls. And you just say, oh, just love Jesus, love Jesus. Love Jesus is more to loving Jesus than just love Jesus. Oh, I got love in my heart, but I wouldn't even help Nelson. I wouldn't even help you. Now, you're climbing up the ladder to maybe 60, maybe you haven't reached 60 yet. Another 10 years, you'll be in a care hole.
I was afraid you were going to go there.
All right, sorry, I didn't give you ages. But what I'm trying to say is that the guys in the front room who are controlling the picture house and the filming and everything out there, they're planning things in such a way just to run.
Well, the thing is, there's a saying. George Santayana once said, "If we don't learn the mistakes of history, we'll be doomed to meet them, to repeat them." A little while ago, I heard a Labour minister say, they were looking at the history of the Labour Party, and they haven't been in power for about 10 years, and they said that what we need now, we need an historian in politics, even more than an economist, because they were going through the eras of, they were looking at how Margaret Thatcher had done well, and when a war came, the Falklands, she did the poll tax first and they didn't like her. She did a war, she became a hero, but then she didn't know when to quit. Then they started to look at Tony Blair and how he was doing well until the Iraq war and everything. And he said, we keep repeating the same mistakes again and again because we're not learning from the past. And I think the Bible says these things were written as examples for you, upon whom the ends of the world come. And us as individuals, whatever is going on, whatever the things that you say are going on, or whatever's happened in history, we can't change history. And also, we don't have the power to change whatever, if whatever negativity is happening, in an organisation. All we have is that which is given to us. That's why it always says, your corner of the vineyard. If you notice, Jesus, from what I recall, he didn't go in there and try to change Caiaphas and all that lot that ended up killing him. He didn't go in there and try to do that. Jesus was, I don't like to, I use the term, but other people don't like the term. Jesus was a roadman. He was on the street. He was dealing with all people. He left the church to get on with it, the organisation, because I'm not here to decry the organisation. But whatever things are happening, what I do know is that Satan has tried to misrepresent that which God has presented. Like I was saying to Seppo on the way that whenever there's a bad thing that happens, that goes into the media. You think of Waco in 1993, and then people say, "Oh, the Seventh-day Adventist Church."
Netflix got serious in
And there was a dingo baby thing before that, in Australia, and then and you got the situation that there was Rwanda in 1994, where a lot of those.
They're putting them there now.
They put in the blacks. If not blonde and blue eyes, you're going to go to Rwanda. Sorry to say, but you know what I thought you was going on when you said about the historian.
I was going to say something about that.
Yeah, you want like what I'm going to say. I feel like is he trying to defend Boris Johnson with Partygate? Like, not defend him or put Boris Johnson out because he wants a historian to show that there's been many prime ministers that things have happened, they've got rid of them when the war comes. So I did think that, but anyway, let me know.
I wanted to add on to the point that you said about the historians, because I listen to a lot of podcasts and I do a lot of history. And what I studied is when you look at the fall of every single civilization or every single kingdom, namely the ones mentioned in Daniel, Rome, Persia, each time they fell, just before they fell, there was an influx in instability in marriages, there was an influx in homosexuality and sexual immorality, there was an influx of all these different things that are contrary to divine law and divine order. And when you see the influx in these things, you start to see the collapse of that civilization. The same thing happened in Greece, Persia, and the same thing happened in Rome. So what I see now is with all the things happening, the influx of, sexual deviancy, all of these different ideologies and all these different forms of iniquity, I see this as an end of this civilization, the end of this kingdom, and the beginning of a new one. And when you look at, a lot of the politicians nowadays, they're using terminologies like New World Order, get ready for a new, phase or a new reality. And people that are blind don't recognize what they're saying. They don't read in between the lines. But us, as Seventh-day Adventists, should know what this implies. When you look at, for example, the word economic, in Dubai, they had a meeting like 3 weeks ago. They were literally discussing how economy is going to be running in the next few years. Why wasn't everyone watching that? Why was everyone watching Will Smith getting slapping Chris Rock versus the politicians, world business people literally discussing what is going to be happening in the future in terms of the economy? They were talking about cryptocurrency, one world currency. Klaus Schwab, for example, who's the head of the World Economic Forum, they were discussing very, problematic things for us as Seventh-day Adventists, as Christians, as people. So I think also our attention as well, like you said about the history thing, to bring it back to that, we need to not only look at the past and recognize when we're falling and what's happening within the phase of, the timeline and reality, but we also need to know how to survive and how to maneuver in these changes.
Oh, most definitely. I think you've hit it on the head. But I think this is...
this young man could get us in problems with the DVD or the video, whatever, because if he starts talking about the alphabet people and things like that, we can't go on YouTube.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
So, you're going to push us towards Rumblers now. So,
100%, sorry about that. We can edit that out.
Well, no, we're not going to edit. We're just going to fly straight anyway. So I'm just telling you. No, you can talk what you want now, because you already said certain things that...
But I think... I think that dates...
No, you're cool, man. You can go where you want, man. No, you can go where you want, man.
I didn't say words like sexual immorality. I didn't specifically...
No, I'm only putting your leg, man.
Okay.
I'm only putting your leg.
I think that
You have to have humour.
that history repeating itself and learning from history. This is my view. I've bounced it against different people, like one or two people, but I think our church, God's church, the church that we are privileged to be a part of, started with a disappointment based on date setting. And that, I think, has been no chance thing. For example,